You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Sunday, May the 24th, 2020. The Astros and Red Sox played each other. The Astros came out early, scoring 5 runs in the second inning. The Red Sox scored first, but they didn't score again until the 6th inning. And the Astros kept pace and got ahead of pace of the Red Sox and ended up winning by 4 runs. Jose Urquidy got the win and Hector Velasquez got the loss. The Mariners and Yankees played each other, and the Yankees won by a score of 11-6. The Mariners scored first. They got 2 runs in the second inning, but then the Yankees put up 6 in the 6th inning and put up 5 in the 7th inning, and there was no chance of the Mariners coming back. They put up 4 runs in the 8th inning, but it was already too large of a margin for them to overcome. Jay Happ got the win, and Taijuan Walker got the loss. The Orioles and Blue Jays played each other. This is an AL Eastern Division matchup, and the Blue Jays won by a score of 4-1. Each team scored in the 3rd inning, but then the Blue Jays put up 2 in the 4th and 1 in the 7th to pull away with the win. Matt Shoemaker got the win, Cole Stewart got the loss, and Ken Giles earned his 12th save of the season. The White Sox and Twins played each other, and this is a pretty huge game. The Twins beat the White Sox. Final score of this game, 12-2, and the Twins took 3 out of 4 games in this series, and they're around first place now. You'll see more of where they are specifically when we get to the standing segment of this video. Michael Pineda got the win, though he got sent down to the minor leagues today, and Reynaldo Lopez got the loss. He's now 5-1. The Rangers and Royals played each other. Final score of this game, 7-0. The Rangers got blanked by the Royals, who have struggled this season, but the Royals put up 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and they came out with a shutout. Mike Montgomery got the win, and Lance Lynn got the loss. Jordan Zimmerman got the win in this game. Ryan Yarbrough got the loss, and Joe Jimenez got the save in the Tigers' 2-1 win. The Tigers got a run in the 1st, a run in the 2nd. The Rays could only score 1 in the 7th inning and couldn't win the game. AL West baseball here. The Angels beat the AL Western Division leading Athletics in this game, 2-1 the final score. Andrew Heaney got the win, Frankie Montas got the loss, and Hansel Robles now has 16 saves on the season. National League East baseball here. The Mets beat the Braves. Final score 10-4. The Braves came out with the bats early. They got 3 runs heading into the 5th inning. Then the Mets put a run on the board, and they really broke out with a 5-run 6th inning and a 4-run 7th inning. Paul Sewald got the win, and Sean Newcomb got the loss. The Nationals and Marlins played each other. This also of the NL East variety. Final score 6-2. Steven Strasburg got the win, and Pablo Lopez got the loss. The Giants and Pirates played each other. These two teams are the last place teams in their respective divisions, but the Giants won the battle of these two, 10-5 the final score. The Giants got 7 runs in the 1st inning, and that was enough insurance for them to go out and win the whole ball game. They put up 3 runs in the 2nd for good measure, and the Pirates could not make a comeback. Jeff Samardzija got the win, and Joe Musgrove got the loss. NL Central baseball here. The Cubs and Brewers played each other, and the Cubs not only shut out the Brewers, but they put up a hefty amount of runs on their own. 13-0 the final score. Jose Quintana got the win, and Freddie Peralta got the loss. The Padres and Reds played each other, 9-5 the final score of this game. It took 11 innings for this one to complete. The Padres came back, scored 2 runs in the 9th inning to tie it at 5. And then the 10th inning went scoreless, but in the 11th, the Padres got 4 runs and secured the win for themselves. Luis Perdomo got the win, Cody Reed got the loss, and Kirby Yates earned his 18th save of the season. The Diamondbacks and Cardinals played each other, 3-0 the final score of this game. The Diamondbacks got blanked. The Cardinals scored late, and that helped them to win the ball game. Adam Wainwright got the win, Luke Weaver got the loss, and Giovanni Gallegos earned his 21st save of the season. And that is the Major League Baseball lead in saves. Giovanni Gallegos with 21. The Phillies and Rockies played each other. This game took 13 innings to complete. The final score of this game, 6-4. The Rockies walked it off in the bottom of the 13th with a 2-run home run. Jairo Diaz got the win, and Sir Anthony Dominguez got the loss. This will directly impact the Phillies because the Nationals won today and the Phillies lost. Those two have been teeter-tottering for first place, and you'll see that more specifically when we get to the standing segment of this video. The Indians and Dodgers played each other. Final score of this game, 3-1. A bunch of ones were put up on the board. No crooked numbers in this one. The Dodgers just produced more offense than the Indians did. Walker Buehler got his 8th winning decision of the season. Zach Plesac now 3-3. And Kenley Jansen has 17 saves now on the year. Looking at standings now, starting in the American League East, the New York Yankees are 32-21. They lead this division. They've won 3 straight games against the Mariners. The Orioles are falling behind. They lost today. They're now 5 games back of the division. They are 27-26. The Rays have fallen below a .500 winning percentage. They're 6 games back of the Yankees, and they're 27-28. They've lost 4 in a row, and they've lost 7 of their last 10 games. The Blue Jays are catching up a bit. They've won 6 of their last 10 games. They won today. They're now 6.5 games back of the Yankees, and they're just a half game back of the Rays with a 26-28 record. And the Red Sox still in last place. They're 24-30. They're 8.5 games back. They've lost 2 games in a row. In the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins gaining a gap for first place. They're 37-17. They've won 3 in a row against the White Sox, and they've won 9 of their last 10 games. And the White Sox are slowing down now. The White Sox lost 3 games in the 4-game series these two played in over the weekend. The Twins and the White Sox, I mean. But now the White Sox are 35-18. They're 1.5 games back of the Twins, and they're falling back. The Indians have lost 2 in a row. They're 28-26. They're 9 games back in the division. They've lost 7 games of their last 10. The Tigers are 20-32. They're 16 games back. They've won 3 games in a row. And the Royals beat the Rangers today. They're 16-37. Still in last place, though. 20.5 games back of the Twins for first place. In the American League West, the Oakland Athletics are 33-21. They lead this division, though they've lost 3 games in a row. The Astros have been able to gain some ground. The Astros have won 2 games in a row. They're 30-23 now, 2.5 games back of the A's. The Angels are 25-27. They've won 5 games in a row. They're 7 games back of the Athletics for first place. The Rangers lost today to the Royals. They're 22-31. They're 10.5 games back. And the Mariners are 21-33. They're 12 games back. They've lost 3 in a row to the Yankees. They're still in last place. In the National League East, the Washington Nationals beat the Miami Marlins today, and the Nationals are at the top of this division once again. They're 29-22. The Phillies lost to the Rockies today, so they've moved a half game below the Nationals now. They're in second place with a 29-23 record. The Marlins are 27-26. They're 3 games back of the division lead. The Braves are 27-27. They lost to the Mets today. They're 3.5 games back of the Nats. And the Mets are 25-28. They beat the Braves today, though they're still in last place, 5 games back of the division with a 25-28 record. And they've won 7 of their last 10 games. In the National League Central, the St. Louis Cardinals continue to lead. They're 28-26 after beating the Diamondbacks today. The Cubs beat the Brewers. They've won 2 games in a row now. They're 26-28. The Brewers are 25-29. They fall to third place now, 3 games back of the Cardinals for first place. They've lost 2 in a row to the Cubs. The Reds are 23-29. They're 4 games back. They've lost 5 games in a row. They've lost 6 of their last 10. And the Pirates are 18-34. They're 9 games back, still in last place. They've lost their last 5 games, and they've lost 7 of their last 10. In the National League West, the Dodgers are 33-18. They still lead this division. They've won 2 in a row. The Padres have gotten hot. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They've won 3 in a row. They're 31-22, and they're 3 games back of the Dodgers for the NL West lead. The Diamondbacks are 27-26. They're 7 games back. They lost today to the Cardinals. The Rockies beat the Phillies today. They're 22-29. They're 11 games back. And the Giants have kind of turned things around a bit. Over these last couple weeks, they've won 5 of their last 10 games. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They're 22-30. They're 11.5 games back of the Dodgers for first place, and they're now a half game back of fourth place, where the Rockies occupy right now. Taking a look at league leaders now, starting with batting average leaders in the American League. Miguel Cabrera leads with a .371 average. Carlos Santana 3 points behind him with a .368, and Michael Brantley in some variation of a .368 average, and that's good enough for third best in the AL. In the National League, David Dahl's at a .369. He still leads. Ronald Acuna Jr. second best with a .348. And Dansby Swanson's at a .344. That's good for third best. Hits leaders in the American League, Miguel Andujar's at 76. He's 2 above Jose Abreu, who's second best with 74. And then Miguel Cabrera and DJ LeMahieu tied for third best with 73. In the National League, Jonathan Villar leads with 74. Nobody else in the NL is at 70 hits yet, but Ronald Acuna Jr. is close. He's at 69. And Paul Goldschmidt rounds out the top 3 with 66. At bat leaders in the American League, DJ LeMahieu takes the top spot now. He's at 220. Miguel Andujar, his teammate, right behind him with 219. And Jose Abreu, third best with 218. In the National League, Jonathan Villar still has a wide margin for this lead. He's at 223. Ozzie Albies, the next best with 212. And just a few players who have reached 200. Everybody else below 200 at bats this season in the NL. Doubles leaders in the American League, Anthony Rendon has the top spot with 21. Miguel Andujar and Rafael Devers tied for second best with 19. In the National League, Jonathan Villar is at 24, Christian Yelich is at 20, and then there's a 3-way tie for third best. Trey Turner, Brandon Crawford, and Ketel Marte all have 18. Triples leaders in the American League. Jose Altuve has 5. Oscar Mercado, Whit Merrifield, Nico Goodrum, Adalberto Mondesi, and Miles Straw tied for second best with 3. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has sole possession of first place. He has 6 triples on the year. Chris Bryant second best with 5. And then Victor Robles, Trey Turner, Hunter Pence, and Andrew McCutchen tied for third best with 4. Home run leaders in the American League. Josh Donaldson has 21. Chris Davis one behind him with 20. And then Austin Meadows and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. tied for third best with 18. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. hit a home run today against the Mets. He has 21 home runs now, and that's still the league lead. Max Muncy and Paul Goldschmidt tied for second best with 15. RBI leaders in the American League. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is at 58. Josh Donaldson's at 52. And Austin Meadows third best with 51. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has 43. That leads. Christian Yelich, one behind 40. He's at 39, good for second best. And Cody Bellinger and Freddie Freeman tied for third best with 38. Runs scored leaders in the American League. Rafael Devers has 42, as does J.D. Martinez and Yohan Moncada. They're all tied for the league best. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. takes the top spot outright with 47. Stolen base leaders in the American League. D. Gordon has 12. Adalberto Mondesi and Mike Trout tied for second best with 11. In the National League, Starling Marte has 22. That is outright the league leader, and he's in the lead by a large margin. Trey Turner the next best with 14, and Ronald Acuna Jr. rounds out the top 3 with 13. Walks leaders in the American League. Alex Bregman has 35. Travis Shaw and Shin-Soo Choo tied for second best with 32. In the National League, Rhys Hoskins is still at the top. He has 38 walks. Brandon Belt 2 behind him with 36. And Paul Goldschmidt rounds out the top 3 with 33. On-base percentage leaders in the American League. Miguel Cabrera has a .441 on-base percentage. Michael Brantley behind him with a .436. Alex Bregman with a .433. That's good for third best. In the National League, Dansby Swanson has a .448. Paul Goldschmidt's at a .433. And Ronald Acuna Jr. third best with a .432. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League. Josh Donaldson has a .717, and it's not quite close. Chris Davis the next best with a .690, and Austin Meadows third best with a .663 slugging percentage. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is at a .763. That's the leader. Paul Goldschmidt at a .656, and Christian Yelich 1 point behind Goldschmidt with a .655. On-base percentage plus slugging percentage leaders in the American League. Josh Donaldson's at a 1.127. Mike Trout second best with a 1.092, and Chris Davis third best with a 1.091. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is at a 1.195, Paul Goldschmidt 1.089, and Christian Yelich third best with a 1.076. Pitcher statistics now, starting with wins in the American League. Kenta Maeda, the sole leader with 7. Asher Wojciechowski, Dylan Bundy, Lucas Giolito, Jose Urquidy, Hyun-Jin Ryu, Gio Gonzalez, and Jake Odorizzi tied for second best with 6. In the National League, Walker Buehler earned his 8th winning decision today, and he is the league leader. Aaron Nola, Madison Bumgarner, Robbie Ray, and Garrett Richards tied for second best with 6. Losses leaders in the American League. It's down to 2 pitchers who have yet to record a loss on the mound this year, Mike Minor and Kenta Maeda. In the National League, Carlos Martinez, Caleb Smith, Sonny Gray, Kevin Gausman, and Walker Buehler, the 5 tied for the league best. They each have lost just 1 game this season. Saves leaders in the American League. Brad Hand and Liam Hendricks still at the top of the AL with 19 saves. Michael Givens third best with 18. In the National League, Giovanni Gallegos earned his major league leading 21st save today. And yeah, he's the leader in the NL. Kirby Yates second best with 18, and Kenley Jansen third best with 17. Earned run average leaders in the American League. Jordan Zimmerman has cut his down a bit. He's at a .215 now. Zach Plesac second best with a .250, and Kenta Maeda third best with a .254. In the National League, Walker Buehler has a .149. That's the best in baseball. Mike Soroka second best with a .193, and Jacob deGrom about 2. He's good for third best. Home runs allowed among American League pitchers. Mike Minor, Brandon Bailey, Gio Gonzalez, and John Means have each allowed 4. And there's nobody in the American League who has 2 anymore. There was somebody at the top the other day, but not anymore. In the National League, Garrett Richards is still at 2, and he's still the NL leader. He also leads all of baseball with home runs allowed. Shutouts among American League pitchers. Garrett Cole, Masahiro Tanaka have each shut out 2 games this year. In the National League, Jacob deGrom has 3 shutouts. Zach Wheeler and Walker Buehler behind him with 2. Strikeout leaders in the American League. Garrett Cole still at the top with 96. Lucas Giolito had his 86. That's good for second best. And Carlos Carrasco third best with 81. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw has 89. Robbie Ray and Steven Strasburg second best with 87. They're tied. Complete games thrown among American League pitchers. Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka still at the top of this list. They've thrown 2 complete games. In the National League, Zach Wheeler and Jacob deGrom tied for the league lead. They've thrown 3 complete games this year. Walker Buehler and Aaron Nola are at 2. They're tied for third best. Innings pitched leaders in the American League. Garrett Cole has 75 even. Hyunjin Ryu behind him with 73 2/3. And Shane Bieber rounds out the top 3 with 72 1/3 innings pitched. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw has 77. Jacob deGrom a third of an inning behind him with 76 2/3 innings pitched. And Aaron Nola a full inning behind deGrom with 75 2/3 innings pitched. Walks allowed among American League pitchers. Carlos Carrasco is the only pitcher left in baseball that has a walk total in a single digit. He has 8. In the National League, Alex Wood is the leader with 13 walks allowed. Whip leaders in the American League, Jake Odorizzi, 1.01, Dylan Bundy also at 1.01, and Masahiro Tanaka rounds out the top 3 with a 1.03. Nobody's under 1 anymore in the American League. In the National League, Jacob deGrom is under 1. He's at a .99. Mike Soroka and Anthony DeSclafani tied for second best. They're each at a 1 even whip. Pitching war leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole 1.9, Shane Bieber 1.8, Carlos Carrasco rounds out the top 3 with a 1.7. In the National League, Jacob deGrom has risen up to a 2.5, Robbie Ray second best with a 1.9, Walker Buehler 1.8, and Yu Darvish 1.8 as well. Batting war leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson's at a 3.6, Marcus Semien, Mike Trout, and Alex Bregman all in some variation of a 3.4. They make up the top 4 on this list. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. is still above 4. He's at a 4.5. Christian Yelich second best with a 3.4, and Wilson Contreras, along with Nolan Arenado and Jonathan Villar, all around 3. They make up the top 5 on this list. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Sunday, May the 24th, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's virtual network.